Hello everyone! We've reached the very last week of this course and I'm super happy you're all still here. In this last week we won't really learn something new, but we will focus more on some possibilities you as a teacher have should you continue with programming in class. Last week, when discovering abstractions, you've experienced that programming can be very tricky. But this week we will look at possible materials that you can also use in class. This week we will look at textual programming, which is programming with just letters instead of blocks. We will also check out robotics and electronics. Before we will dive deeper into this, we will start with the lesson material evaluation. Earlier we had 5 feedback moments, and here the question is, how do you review this material? Another question you should ask yourself is whether this lesson material is experience-based or concept-based. The distinguishment between the two are not always so obvious. Some classes are very suitable for just introducing the basic concepts of programming, so just the rough idea of it. The idea that you can tell a computer or a robot to do something. That by itself is already a really cool thought. That you tell a computer to do something for you. A lot of classes we give to our students are very experience-based. For example, a class in which you learn how to build something step by step. That is very cool to see. Like in Scratch, I always think, whoa, that's nice. If I place these blocks here, it gives me this output or this animation. But whether you get a clear understanding of what certain concepts are, learning step by step, that is hard to tell. So, contrary to experience-based, you go really in depth of the material with concept-based classes. Think of a loop or a variable, for example. That concept is clearly explained and practiced. Please remember what we taught you earlier about working unplugged, which is really helpful to get a good understanding of programming concepts. Ask students in class, what is a variable? And let them come up with variables themselves. And do this in class first, rather than behind a computer. Or a Scratch dictation in which it is practiced systematically. So, when practicing all these concepts, either concept-based or systematically, their knowledge has to be tested. So, to actually validate whether these concepts are understood correctly. Later this week, we will talk about how to test the students' knowledge. Important for now is to ask yourself the question when you look at your own course material, am I trying to let the students experience programming, or am I trying to get them to understand some concepts of it? I will come back to that somewhere this week, and of course bear in mind that many classes are probably combinations of the two. A little bit of experience-based together with some concept-based classes. But our only advice is to be able to distinguish these two approaches in order for you to develop clear course material, especially with the type of classes we will discuss in the later videos. And I'll see you then.